Okay, so today we're going to slow things down. We're taking a really deliberate, thoughtful journey into one of the most profoundly ancient texts in the world, the Bhagavad Gita. But we aren't just going to look at dusty old words on a page. No, we are stepping right into a specific moment in time that literally changed the world forever. So take a deep breath, clear your mind for a second, and let's travel back thousands of years.
Now, before we even get into the story, I want you to really think about this for a moment. Have you ever been completely torn between doing what you know is right and protecting the people you love? It's this incredibly deep, universal human struggle. We all face those moments, right, where our absolute duty just violently clashes with our emotions. Before we even step onto the battlefield today, it's absolutely crucial to understand that this story, it's really about us. It's an explainer on the battles we fight every single day inside our own hearts.
So picture this. The sun is just starting to peak over the vast, dusty plains of Kurukshetra. You have thousands upon thousands of warriors standing there, completely ready. Flags are slowly waving in that early morning wind. You can hear horses neighing, and off in the distance, just the steady, heavy beating of war drums. Two massive armies are standing face to face. Weapons are drawn, the tension in the air is just thick. Everybody is just holding their breath, waiting for that very first arrow to fly. And the stakes of this actual physical war, they are painfully simple. On one side, we have the Pandavas. They're fighting for justice. They're fighting for truth, and they're fighting for their rightful kingdom. And then on the flip side, we have the Kauravas. And their goal is very, very different. They are absolutely determined to keep their power no matter the cost. It's this clear, undeniable divide between righteousness on one hand and pure greed on the other. Then, out of nowhere, the heavy silence just shatters. The warriors of the Pandava army raise these massive conch shells up to their lips, and one after another, they blow into them, creating this earth-shaking sound. It is a powerful, booming noise that literally rolls right across the entire earth, just like thunder. It completely fills the sky. Birds are flying away in an absolute panic. The ground itself actually seems to tremble right beneath their feet. Just take a second and imagine that overwhelming, deafening sound. Now, what's really fascinating here is how everyone reacts to that sound, because a simple sound actually reveals something huge. The Pandavas, they hear this roaring thunder, and they aren't afraid at all. They have complete, unwavering faith. They know they're fighting for the truth. And you know, when you stand firmly on the side of what is right, your fear just naturally becomes weaker. But the Kauravas, even with their massive, intimidating army, that sound awakens this hidden, creeping fear inside them. Deep down, they know they are supporting injustice. So the physical war hasn't even officially started yet, but the very first battle is already happening right inside the hearts of these men. All right, let's zoom in from that giant macro picture of the battlefield right down to the micro level. Right in the dead center of it all is this magnificent chariot. And standing on it is Arjuna. He is one of the greatest, most legendary warriors in the entire world, and he's holding his famous bow. Up above him, there's this special flag waving in the wind, carrying the image of Hanuman, which is a really powerful symbol of divine protection. And guess who is actually holding the reins of the horses? It's Lord Krishna himself. The Lord of the universe has chosen to become a simple, humble driver for his friend. With all this divine protection, it feels like victory is absolutely a sure thing. But then, everything just completely pauses. Arjuna turns to his friend and he makes a really simple request. He says, "Oh Krishna, please place my chariot between the two armies." And guys, this is the exact moment everything changes. It is honestly so beautiful to see how Krishna, the Supreme Lord, lovingly serves his devotee by just calmly accepting this request. True love and devotion, they're really about service, right? And so Krishna gently guides those horses forward. So why did Arjuna ask to go right out there into the middle? Well, because in that exact moment, he actually stopped thinking like a warrior whose only job is to fight and destroy. He began thinking like a human being. Instead of just blindly rushing forward into the chaos of war, Arjuna simply wanted to see who was actually standing out there. He wanted to look directly into the eyes of the men who had chosen to align themselves with this greedy, stubborn leader, Duryodhana. He needed to completely, deeply understand the reality of the war he was about to fight. So, picture the chariot slowly, quietly rolling forward, leaving the total safety of the Pandava lines behind. Krishna drives it right out into that quiet, eerie, totally empty space between the two massive, angry armies. And he doesn't just randomly park it anywhere. He gently brings the chariot to a dead stop, directly in front of two very specific people on the enemy side. Arjuna's deeply respected grandfather, Bhishma, and his highly beloved teacher, Drona. Krishna softly says, "Arjuna, look at the Kurus gathered here. And as Arjuna looks out across those enemy lines, this is exactly what he sees. He sees grandfathers, teachers, uncles, brothers, friends. Let the incredibly heavy, agonizing weight of those words really sink in for a second. These are the very men who watched him grow up. These are the teachers who literally showed him how to hold his bow. These are the exact people he shared meals and laughter with his whole life, and now he's supposed to kill them. He looked out across that dusty field, and he didn't see an army of enemies. He saw his family. The absolute devastating reality of this war has just hit him with full force. A minute ago, this was all about armies and kingdoms and grand ideas of justice. Now it is about flesh and blood. It is about the people he loves the most in the entire world. And this brings us to the absolutely agonizing internal conflict that is just completely tearing him apart. On one side, Arjuna is completely bound by his duty. He has to do what is righteous and just. He has a moral obligation to fight, to stop evil, and to protect the innocent people relying on him. But pulling him in the exact opposite direction with just as much force is his emotion. He feels this immense, overwhelming compassion for the family members standing right across from him. How on earth can you do what is right when what is right feels so incredibly, deeply painful? The great, legendary warrior, Arjuna, the guy who was ready to conquer the whole world just moments ago, he literally breaks down. His supreme confidence just completely fades away. The great bow actually slips right out of his hands. A heavy, suffocating wave of compassion and sadness completely fills up his heart. In this quiet space between the armies, he realizes that every single victory in this war is going to come with a terrible, permanent loss. To defeat the enemy means he has to destroy his own family.
Arjuna is just entirely overwhelmed with this profound, paralyzing inner doubt. He asks, what is the actual value of a kingdom if it comes at the cost of so many lives? What possible happiness could ever come from this? And I really want you to remember something so important here. Arjuna's confusion, it is not a weakness. Not at all. It is actually a beautiful, profound reflection of his really good heart and his deep compassion. He is fully awake to the suffering that this war is going to cause, and his soul is just desperately crying out for an answer.
Which leaves us with this incredibly, deeply provocative thought for today. What actually happens when doing the right thing hurts? What do we do when our sworn duty and our loving heart are at total war with each other? The physical war at Kurukshetra has been paused, but the absolute greatest spiritual conversation in human history is just now beginning. Lord Krishna's timeless, world-changing answers to this exact painful human dilemma are about to unfold. So keep reflecting on these profound questions, and we will pick this up next time.